Hello, and welcome to Why Did My Builder Do That? The weekly podcast that will answer your questions about home design, home building, and much more. Of course, we will be asking, why did my builder do that? But sometimes we will ask, why didn't my builder do that? Or, will my builder do that? Or even, does my builder know about this? Each week, we will tackle new questions and hopefully provide insight into designing, choosing a builder, building, financing, and even maintaining or remodeling a home. From time to time, we will be looking at why or how something went wrong, but we will be asking about new building products and new building techniques. Along the way, we will also be talking about building standards and warranties. We invite you to email us questions, and we will make every effort to include them in future podcasts, or at the least, we will send back information or a comment on your questions. Email us at WDMBDT@gmail.com. Why would my builder do that? Join us now for Why Did My Builder Do That?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Why Did My Builder Do That? The weekly podcast that's going to answer your questions. Why did my builder do that? Why didn't my builder do that? Or did my builder even know he could do that? Today, I'm excited to have an old friend and an associate in the business, Mark Wagner. Mark Wagner spent many years with a large local home builder, and he was both a supervisor and also handled their warranty, managed their warranty for many years. So, Mark, how you doing? Welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll get started with some questions.
Okay, good, Gary. It's good to see you again. And like you said, I was in the building industry for over 40 years. And a lot of that time was a construction superintendent overseeing the building of new homes. And then I finished up the last 20 or so years in the warranty department as a service manager, which, ranged from getting warranty calls to just simple questions and so on. So that's why I'm here.
Well, I appreciate it. We get lots of emails from people with problems on their house and concerns. Sometimes they feel like their builder's not responding, not agreeing to things. So what I was hoping to do with you is take a look at a few construction problems and get the answer from the guy who would make those decisions for a major home builder. So let's just jump right in and we'll talk about this first slide. Folks sent this in. They've got water standing on their covered patio. What are your thoughts on that, and what might need to be done here?
Well, I'd like to know how much rain they had and how long ago from when this picture was taken. However, if you can simply put a level on it and see if it's not pitched towards, away from the house, then it's definitely a problem, and it should be taken care of. You have to check your builder's warranty, but that's something that we would actually replace and put the proper fall in it so it doesn't hold water, because not only is it not good in the summer, but think about in the winter, that would become ice and would be a big hazard.
That makes sense. Let me ask you this. It looks like I'm not holding water to the right here, although it looks damp. So I think that maybe answers one of your questions. We may have had rain pretty recently here. And on the other side, we're not holding water. So Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner is going to say, well, you're going to replace this concrete and it's going to look different than the other concrete. I want you to replace all the porch. What would your comment or thoughts be on that?
I know our warranty did not guarantee color match on any type of concrete replacements, and I mean it's virtually impossible to get it to match. However, the other part of the patio, the outside part, looks like it's in good condition and it doesn't warrant replacement. So I would say the builder should probably just take care of the part closest to the house where there's a puddling issue there.
Okay. I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot and say, okay, the builder, he's maybe got his bad black hat on and he's saying, no, I'm not going to take care of this. as a homeowner, is there anything I could do to alleviate this problem short of tearing it out and replacing it? Can I patch it? Can I level it? Is there anything that I can do?
A patch will not hold up. I can guarantee that. I mean, one way to get rid of the water would take the deepest point of that puddling issue and drill, a quarter-inch hole down through to where the water would go into the gravel under the patio, which would, take the water away from the surface and put it underneath.
So literally create a drain.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, there's your answer. One major builder here in town would more than likely replace that concrete. Hopefully they all would, but if they didn't, you might still have an answer there. And I guess your worst scenario is you're going to have a broom out there and clean it off. But hopefully they take care of it for you. We're going to stick with concrete here for a minute and look at a different situation. This is a basement. Somebody sent this in, and they've got this crack in their basement. What are your thoughts, Mark?
Well, as you can see from the picture, there's what they call a control joint in the concrete, which is
that this?
Well, it's it's a really good thing. It's really a good thing to have, but they can't. You can see there's a crack in the control joint, which is good, but yet there's another one going across it,
Right.
which can happen. I mean, there's no guarantees concrete won't crack. In fact, it's more of a guarantee it will crack, and that's why they put the control joints in. You would have to check your warranty to see what the builder covers in that situation. If it's over 3/16 of an inch in some cases, I think some building industries have that as 3/16, where the builder would have to do something with it. However, it's important not to be alarmed because this is a slab and it's not part of the structure. So the cracking is purely a cosmetic issue.
Okay. Any problem with me putting a floor covering over that?
I'd be interested to see how old this home is, and because like the first year or two is where you're going to have most of your settlement and so forth. So as long as it stays, about like that, if you're going to put carpet or tile over it, you might want to, fill it in.
Okay. All right. Well, that was going to be my next question: is should I fill it in? Something tells me my control joint I probably should not fill it in. But what are your thoughts on that?
If you're going to put, a flat surface covering over it, you might want to put a thin coat over the actual control joint because that's not going to prevent it from working because since it's already got a crack in it, especially. But so yeah, I mean, you got to figure if it's only a year old, you might want to wait a little longer just to see if that crack gets any bigger.
Okay, but it's not a structural issue.
Definitely not a structural issue.
If suddenly this was half an inch wide or maybe offset different heights by a half an inch or more, should I be a little more worried about that?
Well, if you got a half inch wide or half inch displacement where one side's higher than the other by a half inch, there might be something else wrong. Once again, it's probably not structural, but it would be something that the builder should come out and take a look at and address it accordingly.
Okay. In your history, did you ever have one where literally the floor had to be replaced?
I don't remember any. No, I don't remember anything like that happening. But we might have cut a section out and repoured it. And once again, we let the homeowners know there was no guarantee on the color match, so it might have had like a 12-inch, repour there at the crack.
Okay. Well, that sort of brings to mind another question. It doesn't have anything to do with with failure of concrete, but let's say I have a plumbing problem and they have to cut out concrete in my basement and then pour it back. Is there any problem with that that you would know of that might be worrisome?
No, once again, the concrete slab isn't a part of the structure. So if they cut out and then, replace it, that doesn't cause any future problems at all. And sometimes you get these cracks like this just because maybe the gravel underneath it is settled, might be a pocket there, but, if it's hollow under there, chances are the crack might get worse, and you definitely should get the builder
Okay.
involved.
All right. Very good. Well, we're going to move in out of the concrete realm and into the tile world, and this one looks like a real disaster. What do you think might have happened here?
Well, it looks like it was an older home on the picture on the left, which it looks like they used green board behind the tile, and that they've improved on because you had problems like what's going on here if you didn't keep your tile grouted or sealed to prevent moisture from getting behind the tile. This is what you could eventually get with, what the product they were using, the green board. So they've since improved that.
Water's just getting through the grout joints?
That's the way it looks in the picture. I mean, without being there and talking to the homeowner personally, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like moisture gets back there and it can't get out. So it just starts molding and mildewing and stuff.
So if this was a home that you were responsible for, what would probably end up having to happen here?
Well, depending on, without being personally there, you'd have to check the structure of the 2x4s to see if they were affected, structurally, and it might be a thing where it has to be replaced, the 2x4s, and then continue on as you would at new construction and completely redo everything.
Well, I know you've been retired for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I can't remember. Is that about right?
3 years.
3? Okay. All right. Well, I know I only closed my building business a couple of years ago, but something that we had started using is this Kurdi system. A company called Schluter out of Germany developed this, and every inch of the shower wall and seat and so forth, we installed this Kurdi system, and this one's not complete yet. The joints haven't been taped. But once it's done, it creates a real waterproof barrier for the entire enclosure. And in fact, when we have a tile floor outside of the shower, they also continue that system all the way outside of the shower and do the complete floor. So you effectively have a complete waterproof barrier for every inch and every bit of that tile. So these kind of problems don't happen much anymore with most building companies. So, folks, if you're looking at go ahead.
And that just shows how the building industry is constantly changing and trying to improve, and they come up with things like this, which looks like it's a great idea and should prevent future problems happening, like you see on the picture on the left.
And that's a great point, because you mentioned green board. That was the first improvement that the industry came up with, is to stop installing drywall and start installing the green board. And then a few years after that, they introduced cementous board, which is a little bit better than that, more water resistant, but there wasn't anything that was stopping water even from getting to that. So this is the next level of that. I wanted to mention one other thing. I would never install tile on a seat like this. I I know that people like the continuity of that, but I like to see a solid piece there, like a piece of corian or granite or quartz matching their bath countertop or something like that, to just kind of reduce the opportunity for water to get anywhere into that system. So.
Right. And it's important to make sure, and I'm sure the builder would make sure this happens, but to have a pitch on that seat too,
Right,
which will,
right.
instead of, you don't want it sloped towards the wall. You want it sloped towards, the
Exactly.
shower or tub, whatever you have it.
I agree. Well, Mark, thank you very much for today. Folks, let's keep those letters coming in. We've got Mark here as a resource. So just send emails to WDMBDT, why'd my builder do that, at gmail.com. And we'll feature your question on one of our upcoming episodes. So, Mark, thanks for today, and we'll talk to you again soon.
We'll see you next time.